Hello everybody, a little bit of shop talk today. I wanted to talk about this new firmware update that came out for the Perkons HD-01 from Synths. This firmware update has got some considerable changes to it that are super cool. So if this is like broken up kind of crazy, I've tried to record this a few times. I've got 3 little ones. It has been crazy the holidays. My brain is like mush. I'm just going to try to grind through and put this out because I don't know, I'm having fun. I want to share it. This is more of a music channel. I like to just make music, but sometimes it's kind of cool to do a little shop talk. Good for me to get out there and just talk a little bit. Helps me out. And maybe some people that have this want to see how this all works. Synths did a video with a sound demo. So they're going to do a way better job than I am on that. But maybe I could just show some of just walk through kind of the setup of some of this stuff. So the first thing that I want to talk about on this list was the chromatic MIDI note input. So we'll go through. There's the chromatic MIDI note input, the MIDI note velocity input, a new algorithm, digital noise on voice 4. There's an inverse odds behavior option, which is amazing. Love it. I'm so glad it's in there. FX parameters with saving with kit option, improved trigger MIDI note recording as well. So the 2 big ones for me is the chromatic MIDI note input and then the odds inverse, which is huge for me. So really quick, the way we're going to set this up, I've already got a kick programmed in. I've got some voices set up. I've set everything to tune 0 because anywhere else, obviously, you're going to be out of tune if you're playing some sort of scale into it, right? So I'm going to start with 0. We're going to go in here. What I've done on my sequencers, I've got this Oxy one that has 4 separate sequencers. Each sequencer I've set to a particular MIDI channel, 1 through 4. So this will be MIDI channel 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that will correspond to each one of these voices here. I will show you here that track 1, 2, 3, and 4, MIDI channel 1, MIDI channel 2, 3, and 4. So let's go back in here and make sure I'm not lost. The trick is you need to make sure that your multi-MIDI mode is set. This is multi-mode or MIDI mode single. This is MIDI mode multi. So if you're there, it should default the way that I had it set up here. So now I've mapped everything the way I want. Whoops. Let's back up out of there. And so now what I can do is I can press record. I can start putting notes in that way. The actual notes that I want will record into a step. Or there's another way you can do it as well, which I believe is by pressing the desired step button and then sending the MIDI note. So I could hold something down and then send them a note, whichever way you want to go. So let's just hear some sounds. I'm going to go quickly through it. Life is short around here. I have to get to some other things. I wish I could go. I would love to do like a 2-hour video of this thing, but I'm going to try to move quick. So let me try to get to a sound that sounds good. So I'm in preview mode. I have to hit play. I've got a beat going. I don't know, help me kind of time things, but on voice 4, this is what I programmed. Kind of like a square saw buzzy sound. I've got my effects on over here. I'd love to have a little bit of some space in the sound. So to record that, and I'm not going to do anything too extravagant, but we'll hear that come back. And we'll move on to the next voice, see what that sounds like. I'm going to turn a little delay on over here. Leaving record on will always get you in trouble. I'm going to clear out the automation on that. I'll clear the automation on this one too if I put any on there. So you can hear there's some changes there. Take them out, try again. sure it records off before I commit. Have it. So that's kind of cool. I mean, I got one beat and the rest of these are just synth notes going, right? That's the idea. That's what's going on over here. That's pretty amazing, right? I mean, there's a lot of ways we can go. Just keep tweaking, you know. Jamming out. There it is. All right, there's my next Bandcamp release. So I hope that was helpful. Be kind of cool to maybe talk about the new algorithm before I go. So I believe it is Algo 2 Type 1. So this has an interesting sound. It's a noise algorithm, digital noise, which I was like, well, there's plenty of digital noise, but this one kind of does stuff a little bit differently that I thought was kind of cool. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just mute these out here. We're gonna leave, I think, this one on. I gotta press play if I want to preview this. We're gonna pull down the effects for now. And let's take that out and make sure that we've got, and let's see if we can't get to, so we're gonna sweep through. This is an envelope, but we can really sweep through some cool stuff. So these interact with each other. I mean, that's just pretty awesome. And we can play some pitches there. Let's see if we go all the way over here. Yeah, so this is the timbre here, and these just correlate with the tune. That's that one, Voice 4, the new algorithm that's on there. Pretty badass. That is super, super cool. Really glad they put that in there. The last one, I'm gonna try to explain that is a huge thing for me, a quality of life improvement, is the odds. So the odds is something where you want to take a note and have it trigger maybe on a second bar, third bar, fourth, all the way up to 8 bars if you want. or maybe even do a percentage. But I think in this case, we're going to keep it to odds 1 because well, it says odd, so it could be either one of these. But what was going on was if you had, say, a busy track, let's see, say you were busy, say you wanted to put a couple steps in here, but you didn't want them to trigger the first time you hit play on the first pass. You wanted them to trigger, say, on the second bar or maybe the third, fourth, or fifth. What would happen is you'd set them up, like in this case, I'd do this, I'd hit odds, and then I'd say, I want you to go there. And then I hit play, make sure That's beautiful. What would happen was instead of it going the way that we just saw on the second bar, it would actually start on the first bar. So what they did is they called it the inverse of that, which is more natural to me because I like to have things stripped out first and then build up later as they go through, maybe like a fill or something on a fourth bar or fourth or 8 bar or whatever, the end of it. So that is set permanently in my settings. I love it. I think it's a great feature that they put in there. Great quality of life feature that they put in there. So this is really it. I don't really have a whole lot more to talk about today. It's exciting, super fun. I'm glad they did this. All the other manufacturers, not all of them, but there's quite a few of note. Oxy putting out the 4.0 firmware update. Electron Rhythm putting out their update. Cool, fun stuff getting released. The EP133 everybody's talking about. That looks super exciting. Love to have that kind of sitting alongside in here someday. Lots of great fun things going on. I hope this was fun, the tutorial to learn how to set this thing up rather than just listening to the sound, which I appreciate. That's if you want to hear really good quality stuff, go to Erica Synths and listen to their demo on the new patch updates that they've done, or the firmware update. So thank you everyone for sitting through and listening to this. We'll get back to making some music and releasing some tracks here soon, hopefully. Thank you everybody. Take care.